Let me say this before we get started. My good friend Bob Markham, who was our AD when I was at UMass, and he and I he's a dear friend. He's the one that talked me into playing this game. You know, he was the AD at Marshall after he left UMass, and he said, I want you to play this, please play this game. So if we got beat, I maybe never spoke to him again. It would have been my last time speaking with him, but we played good. Let me say this, offensively, Marshall was a handful for us. Now, there were a lot of possessions which gave them more opportunities, but they were a handful. And Coach and I talked after, and he said, I'm getting a better feel for my team. They're big, you know, they got good guard play, and I think in their league they will do fine. I'm going to be honest, you guys know, normally I won't look up and look at the score much in the first half. I'm not that worried about it. But I saw we had an 18, 19 point lead at one point. I just glanced up and I'm all right. I didn't know we had 69 until I called that last time. And I said, dude, you got 69 points? That's crazy. And it was based on assists, shots made. You know, again, we're creating great opportunities for a team that can shoot. Why don't you play this way? Well, if you have a bunch of guys that can shoot it like this, you play this way. Well, why didn't Reed? Reed is a basketball player. He is. You're seeing DJ, you're seeing Justin. We're just getting in a rhythm. And now we got to have one of these big guys back. Will we be back for Tuesday, one of them? Don't know. I don't know. I'm not pushing it on any of it. You know, if poor Big Z got sick again. I'm like, practice is 3 days, now he had 104 temperature. I'm like, what in the world? But, you know, this group, 27 assists. I was mad about 3 of the turnovers. Like, there was no reason for them. One was Antonio not shooting that last ball. Just shoot it. But we only had 9. I was mad about 3 of them. So it's we got to get better defensively. We still don't stay in front of people. So then instead of moving your feet, we reach and foul. Some of the fouls were based on, I'm fouling to stop the game. My guy just fouled. Then the game stopped. Whew, let me get my breath. No, that's when you sub yourself. If you can't stay up with it, you don't foul and stop the game, you sub yourself. But again, we got out rebounded. You know, that we got some issues, but you know, it's fun to play the way we're playing, and it's fun to have a team that cares about one another and plays for one another. How about Rob Dillingham? How good did he play? You ready? And he only took 7 shots, and he made 8 of them. But he had 8 assists in 2 turns. You talk about efficient. You know, again, how about I want to get more shots? Well, you didn't have to. He was the best player on the floor with 7 shots. Then that just shows 6 guys in double figures. Could have had 7. You know, we got to have one more guy making some baskets. You have 7, and hard to say who we stop it. Questions?
Dylan.
Coach, you were talking about playing this way. The coach who came in before said, we've never seen a Cal team play like this. It's the most points you guys have scored in the era since you've been here. Just talk about, and even in the preseason, you said any guy can go for 20. How do you just keep that balance when these teams come in? Is it just keep feeding the hot hands, play in the system? What's that look like when somebody like Miami comes in, or you know, when you're traveling a big game?
Yeah, it's going to be a great environment. You know, Miami is so well coached and has really good players. Plays 4 guards, and all of them can beat you by themselves. They got a big guy similar to Trey with a high motor, and so they're really, really good. I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to worry about my team right now. I have not watched any Miami tape just because I haven't had time to. But I know, and Jim Larinaga and I are friends. He is a terrific coach everywhere he's been. And they'll fight, and they're good. I'm more concerned, let's play and be who we are. Here's the other thing. 3 minutes left in the game. How are we going to play offensively to finish people off? Well, why didn't you just come down and shoot a quick three with 25 on the shot clock? He should have just... No, you don't quite do that late in the game. You want to shoot that, but not early in the clock, because you give them a chance to beat you. You're trying to shorten the game at that point to win the game. So we got to still work on it. There's some things I got to do to give Rob some space. I talked about it after the game, because him one-on-one, I'll be honest with you guys, if the court is open, he may not make them all, but he's going to make most of them. So we got to look at that. You know, everybody, why didn't we play zone in the preseason, the exhibition? How are we against zone? We went to Toronto. They played zone today. I'd rather than play anybody. Play a zone, please. Because you don't really listen to me. What happens when they play zone? We have to, I know you don't watch, we have to pass the ball against zone. You cannot just dribble one-on-one and set a screen. You got to move the ball. And we do. Proud of the team though, 27 assists. You know, I tried to spread it out. I was so happy for Jordan. He's fighting. He finally made a basket. You know, like you want him to. You know, he's missed some that he's just a little anxious. Joey making a three was a big deal for her team. They were showering him in there. They just were so happy for him. But you know, again, we're not going to play this way every night out where you make every shot. Just not. But why don't we play this way and try to? How do we play to finish off a game? We're still working on it. What will we do different when we have a 7-footer? Not too much, because he's a ball player too. Whoever that guy is, they're basketball players that can pass, dribble, and shoot. So Aaron's been practicing, but just not live. So he's been with us 5-on-0, drill work, all that kind of stuff. He's just not the competitive man-on-man, body-to-body. We just haven't started with him on that.
Darryl, second round. Actually, I was going to ask about Aaron. How close is he to doing body? Because I know huge difference between practice shape and game shape.
You know, if I give some, then everybody will say he's lying, and you know, I don't know.
You think you'll tell us, or you'll just trot him up the scores table one game?
I wouldn't mind doing that, but you'll probably know, you know, someone will say something. We had people in our practice the other day, and one of the teams was Z, Aaron, and Jordan at the 3, and Rob and Reed. That's 7'2", 7'2", 6'8", and those 2 guards. And the people in our gym were watching it and saying, this other team doesn't want to play against that team. And that's, you know, and the dude's now jumping and running. Or Hugo, I'm sorry, not a dude, but Hugo's running and jumping right now. I don't know what that means. I worry that if Z is cleared, he's physically not, he's just gotten sick or hurt and goes 4 or 5 days, and how ready will he be? I don't know yet. But it'll be nice to have one more big body that we can throw in instead of them getting layups, and those are all blocks if you got a big guy in there.
Ben, second round.
With Aaron, what is realistic to expect when he does come back, as far as not necessarily a minute count, but getting in there and playing
There's some things we'll probably have to do with him that's different. Like right now, we cannot post up our 4-man. Do we want to make Trey a 4 instead of the 5? Why? Trey's really good at what he's doing. Why screw him up? Let him keep playing, and now your 4 ends up being 7-2. He can shoot it. We can post him. You know, instead of mush mouth, you can run the stuff we're running and run them into post-ups. You can do all that stuff. You know, ball screens with him or Z. Z's thing is more than even Aaron. As Z can go, you can throw lobs to him. I haven't seen it with Aaron yet, but Aaron's shooting it, and they're both good players. Ugo's a good player. Ugo's not even the same. When you look at him, he looks like a swimmer. He's cut, you know, he's gained 25 pounds. But even without him, I'm liking what we're seeing. And now you get one big and he floats into what we're doing. Pretty good stuff.
Last question, first row.
DJ Wagner scored 50 points in the last 2 games combined. Can you talk about what switched for him? Is it like a confidence thing, or what's kind of sparked this offense for him?
I told him after, in front of the team, I said, where DJ and Justin are to where they were 2 weeks ago. But I never worried about DJ, and I told him that. I went up to him and said, you know I'm not worried about you at all. Because he has a great temperament about it, and he's living in the gym. So it'll bust through. Teaching the stuff with Justin, how do you get prepared for a game to play great? How do you lock in and focus on it? What do you do? How do you practice to get ready to play great? And he's coming on. I mean, he just, you know, I just think there's so much more to him. I said, there's more that people are going to be seeing as we go forward. But you have Reed and Robert and Antonio, and we got, you know, those guys are, even if they're all playing 25 minutes, and then whoever's playing the best maybe play a few more minutes, I think they'll all accept it. They've accepted it to this point.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.